What's up, nMo fans? And by the way, happy Cinco de Mayo for those of you celebrating today. And I just want to cover one particular topic, but a couple of news notes. Today, Nelson and I, with some nMo staff, were supposed to go to the reopening of Chinatown Fair, but unfortunately, due to work and personal pre-obligations, I cannot make that engagement, so we're trying to create a rain date. So those of you who were expecting to see us there, I'm sorry if that's on me. I just have some real life stuff that are preventing me from attending today. But just as a news note, make sure you go check out the new Chinatown Fair. Let us know what is going on, what the atmosphere, the scene is, and probably in like a week or two, I'll be able to go down there. I'll pick up Nelson. We'll meet up and we'll see if we can do some sort of streaming or something live. All right. Couple other notes. I'm gonna open up the podcast again sometime during the week if I'm not too burnt out from work. So just keep that in mind. And the topics I'm gonna put out now on the webpage so that you guys can do some research prior to coming into the podcast. I don't want people like really, like I want it like a powerhouse table like George Stephanopoulos does on Sundays. Yeah, I do watch politics. I'm one of those types. But yeah, so we'll be doing a couple things like that. I'm still working on the streaming. Like Nelson and I are using the same software, but for some reason the sound is extremely jerky on my system. I'm not sure if it's the Wirecast itself, but we're trying to troubleshoot. So that's why I haven't done any major streaming on the nMo Mugen channel on Twitch TV just as of yet. So bear with us, and if any of you know how to troubleshoot that problem, send me a message or PM me either here on Facebook or YouTube. Alright, now the topic at hand. I was on Event Hubs and I saw something that I have to co-sign. Now, everybody in the beginning, when Ono-san was talking about how gems are supposed to make the game accessible to everyone, I believe he succeeded to a degree, but two particular gem types should never have been in the game, because that's not okay. How can I put it? You have auto block, auto tech gems, right? Now, the reason why that's broken is because if you have somebody with either a proficiency gem or an onslaught gem, and for those of you who don't know the difference between the two, one builds meter faster and one reduces the consumption of your super meter. So imagine you got somebody with onslaught who's building up so much meter or twice the rate, and let's say he or she has three onslaught gems in there with different activation conditions. So hell, oh man, you know what? This guy is throwing me on the auto tech situation. He's throwing me, so I'm gonna keep spamming out moves, building up my meter, so you're not able to throw him. You know what I mean? If you can use the gem one time per round, so they can pretty much stretch it if they set it up properly, where you can't throw them. That's bad. That's bad. And especially if you got players who are close in fighting game level, and like for instance me, I ran into someone. I've been playing several people that I know for a fact, had that been Super Street Fighter 4, done. I would have iced them. Especially like with my Chun-Li mix-ups and pokes. I'll poke and have them thinking I'm going for another attack, while I'll just walk up to them, throw. You know what I mean? And then when they're trying to guard for the throw, mix up with an overhead, do some frame traps here and there. You know what I mean? When you have a gem like that, now you completely take away a strategy, a viable strategy that's been there since Super Street Fighter or Street Fighter World Warrior. You take out a viable strategy, and now it's like, okay, I know this guy can't throw me, right? So the only way he can engage me is either doing a heavy jumping attack or what have you, and you pretty much lose a tool. Like for me, I know this is not Street Fighter 4. Okay, don't get me wrong, and it's not bitching, complaining, or whatever, but it is valid, because even in a situation where a throw could have made the difference of winning or losing, in a tight situation, and Shinwa, Nelson, and I were saying that that's a game breaking mechanic in the game. It just those two gems are really not good, and for veterans using them, shame on you guys. That's really like that's a coward's way out. I'm sorry, and it's not to needle any one individual or group of individuals, but think about that. If somebody runs up to you, it's like, all right, you know what, they're throwing their mix-ups. Now you take out one of the elements of their mix-ups, and you'll hear comments like, well, man, thank goodness for that auto gem. You're handicapping the community with that kind of nonsense. That's something that should have been completely thought out, because here's the problem. Whenever Capcom puts something out, they don't fully test it enough. And then you find people who go on YouTube discovering infinites, discovering exploits and all that, and you wonder why people are looking at them funny. You know what I mean? Those of you that woke up today, make sure you go to Event Hubs, and I'm going to actually post on there. And kind of link this video so that we can discuss this. I mean, that auto block, auto tech. I mean, against seasoned veterans who are playing with that and that would make the difference in play. I mean, I don't mind losing to other types of stuff like with the boost gems, but some of those assist gems are just like, okay, really, the training wheels. That's why I'm very happy, actually freaking ecstatic that Evo is not going to be using gems, because it's too much of a juggle, and it's almost as if the problem with CVS2, when you had the custom groove meter, it's like, okay, you play somebody, and if they use any of the other standard grooves, where you have the C, AP, and SNK grooves, and if you notice, some people who relied on the EX grooves and had the unlimited points and pull all kinds of shit in there, it's like, man, you know what? Would they have beaten me otherwise? Because the EX grooves weren't in the arcade version of CVS2, were they? So, all of those people who are using, auto block, auto tech, and CVS2 using the EX grooves the way they were using them, you guys are using crutches. And if you go to a tournament, your ass will get crushed. So, I just wanted to, elaborate on that some more. So, let me know what your thoughts are. Did the auto tech, auto block gems really mess up the system of Street Fighter X Tekken, where you got people who are abusing it, even though it was tailored to, the new players, but veteran players are now taking the easy way out and using it as a shield. And like, oh man, because Xbox Live and PSN, people are now, it's all about winning. It's not about getting better. You can have a guy who got his ass kicked 100 times in Endless. Then he goes out to an arcade or tournament place and does really well. It's training grounds, you know what I mean? Like the rank system, you got these people with 10,000 or better. I'm not going to say any one person, but, I saw a gem loadout. I'm like, really? Really? Like, come on, man. Really? Two onslaught gems plus the auto tech gem. So this guy was gonna have meter regardless. Sitting back doing like third strike like Justin Wong did during the famous Daigo parry Beast Evo moment 37. Sitting there building up that meter, and then would go in without fear against a better player, and then all of a sudden auto tech completely ruined the momentum of somebody's onslaughted assaults. So this is part one. You know how the format goes. The next time I discuss this is going to be on the podcast with Nelson, DeMizzle, and the rest of the nMo staff who are available at that given time. But let me know what you think. Did this indeed jack up the system? This is Alex Exis coming at you. Make sure you check out Event Hubs. I'm going to leave a comment, and once I post this, just to, see how things work out. Make sure you subscribe to us. The more subscribers we have, the better, more likely we are whenever I go and try to pitch getting sponsorship, like bigger sponsorship. So, you know, help us to help you so we can keep this thing going. All right. So I'll see you next time on the nMo Meekin Arcade Show. Peace.